Hello my isolation buddies, welcome back to my kitchen of solitude. Welcome back to Julie and Pierre. If you do not know, hello, welcome to Julie and Pierre. I am the Julie, this is the Pierre. It's week 10 this week, which is insane. I feel like we've really made it to a milestone. This is our first milestone together and I think that's something worth celebrating. So I hope that you are as excited as I am to have reached this point in our lives together, because it's been you and me the whole time. It's you and me against the world. We're like Bonnie and Clyde. We're doing this together and I wouldn't have been able to make it this far without you. That is for sure. So thank you for being here. Thank you for coming along, sitting down, taking time out of your crazy busy schedule to sit here and be with me while I do this and I show you, and then we eat it and then we feel sick, and it's this beautiful cycle. I'm feeling really good today. I actually got to go to the gym today for the first time in like 10 weeks, which is so good. I've got all the good like natural serotonin pumping through. I feel like I've accomplished something today, just all positivity pumping around. So I hope that I can ooze that into you through this screen. Ooze a television, whatever good juju vibes coming your way, I'm sending them to you, and I hope that you are feeling as good as I am. It is a day. It's going to be a big one. I am going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to kind of branch out, kind of do my own thing, you know, like I've been here with Pierre this whole time, and he's really kind of, you know, he's really kind of coddled me, but this bird is ready to fly from the nest. So we are going to rebel a little bit. We're at that, you know, in this timeline, we're at like pre-teen to teen, where we're just starting to rebel and just starting to find our own feet. So we're going to use his recipes today, of course, but I'm going to kind of take a few recipes from different parts and kind of put them together and then make them, and then add a couple of my own things to it and make it how I want to make it. We are making Madeleines today. Well, I shouldn't say Madeleines because it's not plural. We're making Madeline. We're making one big one, hazelnut and lemon, and then I'm going to make a hazelnut cream from his book, and then we're going to candy some hazelnuts, we're going to confit some lemon zest, and then we're going to kind of decorate it like a cake. So I'm very excited for that, and I hope you're very excited for that, because that is going to be really fun. I want to get a little bit creative. I wanted to make something, and I love hazelnut and lemon together. I love hazelnut, yeah, and I love Madeleines. And I love everything big. That didn't really sound right. One big Madeline. I don't want little ones. I apologize. I'm sorry now. Gross. Anyway, okay. So we're gonna make one big one. It's gonna be beautiful. And it's served like a cake. So we're gonna eat it like a cake. Instead of a little tea cake, we're eating a cake. So we don't do things in halves here. We're going a big week 10 big explosion situation vibe. Yeah, so shit, let's do it. You and me, let's do it. Okay, so we are going to start with the confit lemon and the candied hazelnuts, because I want them both to completely cool before I start the Madeline or anything else. And so these parts are things that I'm kind of just going on a whim and doing myself. So I'm just going to demonstrate to you how I do them. So you need a lemon, wash it under warm water to get rid of the wax on it, obviously. Peeler, I call this greenie. If you know, you know, greenie, good boys. And a sharp knife. Now this knife, this is a brand new knife. I'm going to shout out to my beautiful little old pastry family for getting me this. It is a beautiful knife, and I am so fucking afraid to even look at it, because I literally just took it out of the box and I feel like it's already cut me. And I haven't even picked it up and used it yet. It's like a battle of the ages between savory chefs and pastry chefs, that pastry chefs don't know about sharpening knives, or, you know, we always have very blunt knives, and we do. I have not used a sharp knife maybe ever. I'm very used to blunt knives, so I feel like even getting close to it, I don't have a good track record, and I feel like getting close to it, it's going to cut me and I'm freaking out. But if I get cut, you know, I warned you, and it is what it is, you know, whatever. So we're going to start with our lemon and peel it with a peeler to get the rind off. Then you basically, like, I just kind of group it together, kind of group them. Just, you can trim off the dodgy tops. Jesus, that was so easy. And then you want to kind of sit them on top of each other, fingers in, just cut it as thinly as you can. Like this, so you have these little strips, get rid of any thick, dodgy bits, like that. Okay, and then you want to put them in a saucepan of cold water, and you want to bring that water to the boil from cold. Okay, when it's boiling, take it off. You want to strain out the lemon from that, refill the saucepan with cold water, put the lemon back in, bring it up to the boil. We're going to do this 3 times. So cold, fresh water, your lemon in there, back on the heat. Bring that back up to the boil. Alright, so stage 2, once that's boiling, again, strain off the lemon, get rid of the water, fresh cold water into your saucepan. Same process. Alright, fresh cold water. Last time, lemon, smack it in on the heat, bring it to the boil. The reason that we do this 3 times is because we're boiling out the bitterness and the acidity of that lemon zest. So you're still getting the flavor of lemon, but without that crazy bitterness. Like, you wouldn't just eat lemon rind, but when you do it like this, it's actually really nice. Then after this 3rd stage, we're going to cook them down in some stock syrup, cold stock syrup that I have prepared earlier. It's just 1:1 sugar to water, boil it, done. And then that's going to add some sweetness to them as well and make them super, super yummy, kind of candied, delicious. Love it. Good. Yes. Alright, so once that is boiling, strain those off, pop them in your cold stock syrup. Cold stock syrup, strain lemon zest, boom. On the heat, just bring that to the boil, and then they're done. Then you just want to take them off the heat, put them in something else, and just let them completely cool before you use them. Beauty. Gorgeous. Delicious. Yum. Lemon. Woo! Alright, then we're going to get on to our candied hazelnuts. So in here is your sugar, just a little bit of water. It's just to wet the sugar, so it should feel like wet sand. Your hazelnuts, toasted. Make sure that they are nice and golden brown, beautiful roasty, toasty hazelnuts. Now, I bought skinned hazelnuts because I work smarter, not harder. So I bought skinned hazelnuts. If you buy them with the skin on, once you roast them, you're going to need to rub all that skin off, and it is a massive pain in the ass. So if you can get skinless hazelnuts, I suggest that you do. You want to put that one on the heat and bring it to kind of like a boil, not quite a caramel. And then also just put some parchment paper on your bench somewhere before you start, because once these are ready, you kind of need to pour it, and it's quite quick. So just have it ready to go, and then it just makes the process so much easier. Okay, so once it is boiling like this, so all fully boiling, but there's not really any color just yet, you want to add your hazelnuts, and then just keep them moving. Just constantly keep them moving. This is going to be really hard to show. Ooh. Sorry for the amount of movement on the camera front. So just keep them moving all the time. They're going to eventually look like this, which is what we want. We want them all kind of crystallized, but keep going, keep cooking them, because what we want is for that sugar to then caramelize onto the nuts. You're on the right track. If they look all crystally and gross, you're on the right track. Just keep moving them. Okay, then when they are like that, so they're all golden, you'll feel it. The sugar is definitely stickier and they're kind of clumping together. You want to take them off the heat and pour them straight onto your prepared paper. And then you want to move them around to kind of break them up, because otherwise they'll just stick together. Be very careful. Sugar is hot, but the best way to kind of do it is kind of with your fingers, just to kind of dance them around, break them up so that they are setting as little individual hazelnuts, not clumps, but they should be beautiful, kind of shiny, just this nice like layer, kind of like a sheath, like a sheath of sugar, like a coating of sugar. And then we're just gonna let those cool like that. Beautiful. All right, so for the Madeline, we've got our sugar and lemon zest in here, plain flour and baking powder sifted in here, butter that is melted, eggs, roasted hazelnuts, and we're also going to use some of those candied hazelnuts that we just did as well with those, but I just didn't want to mix them together because I don't really know how much I'm going to really use, but some of the candied hazelnuts that we did just then is for the mix, and then some is for decoration. So we're going to start by slowly mixing these two together, and then we're going to add our eggs one at a time and give that a good mix, add our flour, and then just by hand add our butter at the end, and then the hazelnuts will go in to the batter just before we pour it into the tin. We're going to start by just mixing the sugar and lemon zest together, then add your eggs, and you want to beat that for about 5 minutes. Okay, then you want to incorporate your sifted flour in 3 lots. So add a third, let that just gently mix through, add a third, gently mix through, add a third. That's a third. Just do this until it's like just combined. You don't want to overmix this whatsoever. You don't want tough madeleines. You want soft, beautiful, spongy, light, delicious, delicate madeleines. No tough madeleines, no thank you. Last one. While you've got this mixing on kind of a low speed, you want to trickle your melted butter into it as it's mixing like a mayonnaise. So once the butter has just incorporated in and your batter is completely smooth, delicious, glossy, gorgeous, that's when you want to stop. You don't want to take it any further than that. So just combined, just smooth, beautiful, then stop it, or you'll overmix it and it'll be gross. Don't overmix it, it'll be gross. Okay, so your batter is done, gorgeous, it's thick, it's smooth, it looks beautiful. Now these are the hazelnuts, so this is a mixture of the roasted hazelnuts plus about half the amount of candied hazelnuts that I did. I kept aside the ones that I want to use for the top, so however much you kind of want to use for the top, the candied ones that I put in here are kind of additional, so it doesn't really matter how much you do, it just depends how much hazelnut you want, how much hazelnut you like. I love hazelnuts. Did I say that already? I think I did. I want to say it again. I love hazelnuts, so we're doing a lot of hazelnut. These are just roughly chopped. They're all about half. Some of them are full, some of them are bits, some of them are powder. You know, it's just really, really rough, but you want to fold these in by hand. Beautiful. Then grab your tin. I've just flipped it upside down as well on the wire rack, and the bottom is like this beautiful golden brown, which is what we absolutely want. And then flipping it upside down, because it domes when it cooks, so if you flip it upside down onto your wire rack, it's going to make the bottom kind of set flat as well. But I'm going to use this as the top of mine because this is beautiful and flat and will be a lot easier to put the decoration on. These are like the hazelnuts, probably the caramelized hazelnuts. So those little bits of just hazelnut goodness. So don't freak out if yours has that all over. It should. Okay, so then for our hazelnut cream that we're going to put on the top, we've got ground hazelnuts that I've roasted, icing sugar, some custard powder, soft butter, an egg, salt, and hazelnut paste, which I basically just use Nutella. I just basically use Nutella. You could, if you can find like hazelnut praline or hazelnut paste that is just hazelnuts, that will obviously be better, but I'm relying on Woolworths in Annalee, Queensland. Yeah, so then essentially what we're going to do is just smack all this together and whip it until it's super smooth, and then that's it apparently. So we'll see how that goes. I've never made anything like this before, so I'm excited. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that for what I'm going to use it for. Seems as if that is going to work. It did mix for maybe around 5 minutes on medium to high speed. So then I'm just going to set him aside, maybe put it in the fridge just to let it harden up a little bit because it's quite soft before we use it. But yeah, super easy. Just literally smack it all together and boom, you've got like a hazelnut buttercream. Bada bing, bada boom. Ooh, yum. This has literally been me for like the last 20 minutes just eating candied hazelnuts. Literally my favorite thing. Oh, I need to stop, but I can't stop. Okay, so now we are going to decorate. So I have my hazelnut butter here. I have the comfy lemon zest here, my candied hazelnuts here, my Madeline here. This is boiling water. I've got a regular dessert spoon and a teaspoon. I don't have piping bags or anything like that. You can pipe this, very, very pipeable. You could just spread it on if you wanted to. Basically, you can decorate this however you like to. Just make sure that it's completely cooled before you begin. I myself am going to rocher this, which is a style of like, I guess, scooping. It's like a quenelle, but you only use one spoon. So first step is you have boiling water, hot water with your spoons in it. This needs, the whatever you are rochering needs to be fairly cold, thick, kind of consistency. And then you want to grab your spoon, just dot off the excess boiling water onto a towel. It's very hard to demonstrate, but you basically want to scoop and pull it up at the same time. And then it's like that kind of a shape. I don't really know how to, I've always really, really struggled with demonstrating to people how to do it. I do it one way, people do it all different ways. It's very like kind of hard. So you can just easily like pipe this on to your cake. You could just spread it on, whatever you want to do, really like super like up to whatever you are feeling. But I'm just going to cover this in rochers basically because I like the look of them and I think it looks really nice. Amazing. And then I'm going to do some smaller ones. So as well, it's like so much easier if you keep your mixture smooth. So every so often just bring it back together and smooth it down. It just makes it a lot easier. And I always kind of work with the bowl, with the shape of the bowl and kind of, yeah, work with it, I guess. And go back in and dunk it in the water after every single one. It'll just make it a lot easier, a lot cleaner. Okay, and now that that part is done, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of dot through my candied hazelnuts. I just threw that on there. Again, like depending on how you're decorating it, whatever you wanna do, however many you wanna do. I have eaten so many of these. Candied hazelnuts are probably like my top favorite thing. It's like It's one of those things that when I start, I really, really can't stop eating them. They're also good to just kind of cover up any parts that like don't look amazing. Just put a fucking candied hazelnut on it. No one's gonna know, you know? And then after that, I'm gonna save these, you know, for a snack for myself. We've got our candied lemon. Now this is in a sticky ass syrup, so you're gonna need something to kind of like pick it out. I mean, you can just use your fingers if you want to just dunk them in that syrup, but it's going to be sticky as all hell. And then kind of just dot them over as well, wherever your heart desires. You can do this comfy method with any citrus as well. You can do it with lime, orange, grapefruit, anything. It all works the same. I think that's enough. I've like completely covered it in stuff, but I'm a more is more kind of gal. Now I have the battle of figuring out how to cut this. Just put my little plate there. I'm gonna assume that this kind of knife is going to be best. I don't know. I'm just gonna wing it. I don't care. It's essentially a cake, so cake knife, you know. How big of a piece do I want? Should I just go full half? Just eat half of it? So this is for me and this is for everybody else. I'll be a lady. I'm really trying. You know, I went to the gym today, so I did go to the gym today. Okay, yep. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Oh, I am ready. Fluffy center, crusty tops and sides. There's hazelnuts in there. It's spongy, it's light, it's beautiful. I wish you could smell it. Oh. Okay, it's done. This is my massive slice of cake. Can you see it? It's like as big as my head, which is the perfect gauge on how big a slice of cake should be. It should be as big as your head. I'll just let you know. So we're gonna try it. I'm very, very excited. It smells really good, really hazelnutty. Oh, I'm so excited for this one. I'm happy this one won. I'm not gonna lie. This is a good one for me. Okay, so, okay. It's so big. All right. Mmm. Mmm. I can't fit my mouth around it. Oh god. I'm gonna get chocolate all over my face. Why did I wear white today? I'm just asking for trouble. Like, it's really, really spongy. It's not super sweet. Like, the cream on top is a little bit sweet, but not really. Like, nothing crazy. The cake itself, whew, like, it is like perfect. I don't want to, like, you know, toot my own horn or anything, but holy moly, like, the edge is really, really crisp. The guts are super fluffy, like how they should be. There's a lot of hazelnut going on, which I bloody love. The lemon really cuts through all the hazelnut. It's it is not sickly sweet in any way. It's beautiful. I probably cooked it for about 20 to 30 minutes, and I turned the temperature down further than 200. So I heated my oven up at 220, but I knocked my oven down to about 180, 190. My oven runs fairly awkwardly. My oven's a little bit strange. I don't really know how to describe it, but I turned it down just because I was doing a larger cake and it was going to be in there for longer. Like, if you do the little molds, they're going to take 7 to 10 minutes to cook. So it's pretty quick, it's like a flash. Whereas because this was going to take longer, I knew that it was basically just going to burn if I left it in there at like 200 degrees. So I put it down a little bit lower. If you make a larger one, maybe that will help you, or maybe you can do that. But yeah. I love the texture. It's like cakey cake. That is my favorite. My favorite texture is cake. If you are a tea drinker as well, have this with a cup of tea. Look at me, cheers, cup of tea. It's freezing cold. I drink about 27 cups of tea a day just to like keep my hands warm. If you are a tea drinker, definitely have a cup of tea with this. It is like it's like white on rice. It just makes sense. It is just the way that life should be. You should have a cup of tea with a Madeline. As Madeline is a little bit extra. We're all a little bit extra around here. More is more, and this is more. This is so much more. This is like next level more, like scream it from the top of the hills more, you know what I'm saying? Like, my belly is so happy right now. Like, a little bit warm. Guys. I mean, I kind of just went out on a whim. I was basically skeptical of all elements in this case. I was a bit skeptical on how it would cook as I was cooking a larger cake. I was a little bit skeptical about how the elements would kind of go together, if that buttercream would be too heavy for the cake, if it would all be too sickly sweet, but it all turned out really well. The lemon is a necessity in this, definitely. If you are allergic to nuts, take the hazelnuts out. The hazelnuts are not adding anything to the texture of the cake, they're not adding anything to the cakiness of the cake, they're just adding pops of crunch, so very easy to take those out. So you could just do a lemon or any kind of citrus. You could just do vanilla, the base level Madeline recipe that I will put the ingredients of down below. You can kind of just put whatever you want, really. I did, so I mean, you know, it's fairly easy. You can kind of make whatever flavor you want. It's just like a base level delicious tea cake, and you just add whatever you want to it. But this went really well, and I'm really happy with this one. We've had 10 weeks of absolute bangers. I think that we have killed it every single week. Make it, eat it, devour it, feel sick over it. I'm like grandma fantasy right now. That's what I'm gonna do when I'm a grandma. I'm just gonna literally only eat tea cake and drink tea and nothing else. That's it. And maybe play mahjong, but other than that, nothing. You get nothing from me at all. Like, I'll take my appointments and my payments in tea cakes only. So I'm living my future life, and it is looking pretty good. Thank you once again for being here. I don't know what's going to happen in the weeks to come as everything starts to open up and life starts to reboot. I'm gonna have to kind of see how we go, because once I start working again and I'm a real life pastry chef again, I'm going to have to figure out how to do this as well, because I have enjoyed it so much, and I hope that you have enjoyed it as well, and that you would be interested in continuing this journey with me. I hope that you've maybe learned something from me. If you haven't, I hope I made you laugh maybe once. If I made you laugh once in this last 10 weeks, then my job's done, and I'm happy with that. I'll put all of the ingredients for everything down below, so you can make all of this and do all of this. But again, like I said, the Madeline recipe really is interchangeable to whatever flavor you kind of want to do. You don't have to do it as large as I did, but try to keep it in a metal tin, whatever size you make it, because it will just make that crustiness and the softness in the center. That's what the metal does. I'm very scared that I have chocolate on this, because if I get chocolate on this, then I would burn it. There's no way out. This is a knitted white shirt. If I get anything on, well, who the hell do I think I am wearing this while baking? I'm an actual psychopath, and I will continue to do my best to do this. I don't know what's going to happen, so stay tuned. What did I just lick? I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was the hazelnut. I don't know what that was. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and you will be notified when I do upload. Head to my Instagram, A Sweet Pastry Chef Life. I will put it somewhere, and you can come along for this journey with me, be a part of the journey, and see what I'm up to, and you can vote. It's difficult because I don't even know what I'm going to do moving forward. So basically head to my Instagram, because that's the only way you're going to find out what's happening moving forward, because I can't tell you, because I can't see the future, and future Jules is not answering my calls. So I don't know what's going to happen, but head to my Instagram to check it out and see what's going on, and I will keep you all as updated as I possibly can on what is happening in my life and in this life and in my kitchen is solidarity, and as long as I know what's going on, you will know what's going on. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. I really appreciate you all for coming along for this, and I can't wait to see you again, and I will miss you until then. You especially.